Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 14th of December 2019. Thank you for joining me. I'm using the Wildwood Tarot for today's reading. Oh, and before I start, I just want to say OMG, I got Friday the 13th so right in terms of my tarot predictions. I lost so much money on Friday the 13th. The thing I loved, the tarot cards went to smithereens. They seem completely lost. They're not totally lost, but it seems very iffy at the moment. So at least that cheered me up that the card reading was accurate. So you can always trust the tarot. And the good thing is that even though it seems everything is just falling apart, you can always go to the tarot and ask it, what's Saturday the 14th about, and how do I work with that? And you always have this consistent presence in your life. You know, it doesn't matter if you're broke or if you're super wealthy and comfortable. That sense of being secure and having that presence with you that loves you and that supports you, that's just a resource that you can really, really rely on. So here we've got the world tree. We've got one of these labyrinths, and they're walking labyrinths. It's like a meditation. As you walk and think about something, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. We've got the 4 seasons here in the tree. This is the be all and end all. So Friday the 13th was a major day. You've now come through that experience and retreated somewhat, and you gain wisdom. So in hindsight, you're able to understand what has happened and how you will react to it. The Queen of Stones, the bear, is the Queen of Pentacles, and a bear, when annoyed, strikes. A bear, when threatened or when her cubs are at risk, she will take someone down. Did you see that film with Leonardo DiCaprio? What was it? Can't remember the name. But he's in the wild, and this bear just mauls him. It's terrible. So she's quite usually the Queen of Pentacles. I love this. I always say this, the law of attraction is always at work because you always pick the right deck for the right day. And usually the Queen of Pentacles is a woman who's really creative, and she's protected like by a black little kitty. In this deck, it's an angry bear. And all this orange, yellow, it's sunset, it's dusk or sunrise, and it's all about power and emotion and control and looking out to see what you can grab for yourself and for your cubs. It's in reverse, so you don't act that way. You're not aggressive. You're not looking what you can hunt down or what you can get for yourself and for those you love. Instead, I think you go inward and you understand something about yourself. You understand something about life. So instead of arguing and having conflict in the outer world, or going to India to find your guru to become enlightened, or I have to go to Glastonbury Tor and sit on top of it, otherwise I will never be able to meditate. None of that is real. You can do everything that you want with everything that you have right now at this moment. And the 21st card of the Major Arcana is the last card of the Major Arcana. It's the end of the Fool's journey. You're no longer a fool. You understand life. You've seen the patterns. You walk the labyrinth, and boom, something explodes in your mind that fills you with understanding and grace and peace and love. The Seven of Vessels morning is the Seven of Cups. And usually it's got nothing to do with morning. Usually it's about kind of picking what you want to do. But in this case, it's a skull looking at a bunch of empty cups. So let's imagine, the symbolism is you can watch these cups until you die. The water is going to evaporate. There's no point in dwelling on negative emotions. Each one is a negative feeling. There's no need to dwell on them. And if you do, you'll end up dead, in a sense, like spiritually stuck, emotionally stuck, intellectually kind of, muted and oppressed by these feelings which you put on this platform and which you give so much importance to. Why is your fear so interesting? Why is your inability to connect with other women so interesting? What do you get out of it? Ask yourself that. This thing that blocks me in life, this fear that I've got, that has shaped my entire life, and I've always reacted to this fear by attacking and putting on a front and putting on a facade. And that's how I've got through life. But really, is the feeling that you've got about yourself, is that true? It isn't. If you are depressed, you are not your true self. Your identity is not a depressed person. You just happen to be depressed. When I was still drinking and before I got into recovery, I always thought that I was much more interesting when I'd had a couple of drinks. That was the real person coming out. I'd be articulate, I'd no longer be nervous and shaky, and I could make jokes and I wouldn't stammer and stutter, and the words would just flow out, and it was funny, and often it was a scream, like in the sense of how fun it was. But it stopped working for me after a while. The fun stopped, and those kind of social situations stopped as well, because I was focusing on, and I was living out my identity as an alcoholic, and I thought I am this person. Whereas when I got into recovery, I realized that I could stop drinking and be a different person, because I have addiction, which is a disease according to the World Mental Health Organization, something like that. Basically, the card says, don't get stuck on the negatives, don't look behind you. If you don't change, you will be left behind. Everything on earth has to change, it has to be flexible, it has to keep going. Otherwise, you die. Like Nina Hagen says, if you stop dancing, you get old and sad and die. So keep on dancing, okay? Put your red shoes on and twirl around a couple of times. So altogether, you really understand something about your life, which allows you to go inward and which allows you to stop fighting something within yourself or something that you see in other people, because you now identify that it's your feeling that has caused the conflict and the aggression. You've had a huge role to play in the control issues and unhappiness that you've got in your life. And because you're able to take one of these bowls and recognize it today for the first time, you can pick it up and throw it away, or you can stomp on it if you want, or you can fill it up with water and fill it with a beautiful feeling. Whatever feels natural to you, do that. Oh, so great. So it's another wonderful day of progress, letting go of one more thing that holds us back, that keeps us bogged down, that keeps us unhappy. And it's just another step to living your best life. 21, number-wise, And a court card, which is 1, is 22, and then 7 is 29. 2 and 9 is 11. 11 is the master number of service. So you can be of service to yourself by understanding this negative feeling that you have that makes you feel like you have to stay put and you can't change and you have to hold on for dear life, and it's fear, fear, fear. You recognize that. You don't immediately react. Instead, you go, whew, and the problem goes poof. Because when you see it, it disappears. These negative things, they only live in the shadows. The really awful thoughts that we have about ourselves, they only come in the darkest times at 3 and 4 in the morning. When you shine light on them, they disappear, those kind of thoughts. They have no power over you. And today, you have the power over one of those, or several of those negative emotions. And really, it's up to you how many you want to get rid of. How free do you want to be? Ask yourself that. And just throw out these negative things once and for all. I like visualizing things, and I like rituals, and I like symbols. So I would either visualize myself throwing the cups overboard, or arranging them in a beautiful water feature and fill them with amazing feelings instead, and transform these cups not into something that is about mourning, but something that is about giving life, and it flows naturally, and it's changing, and it's a never-ending stream of consciousness. So tune in today. Take it easy. You're not going to have problems with other people. The best thing about the day is personal understanding, being able to move forward from a situation which has held you back for a long time. So the best thing about the day is that inner internal shift, which we've seen a lot of transformation lately with the full moon in Gemini on the 12th. So we've got a little bit of that energy left now, because it's asking you to really drop one of the things that are making you small, and you allow yourself to be more rooted and bigger. That's how you're of service to yourself. And when you become a nicer person, you serve other people, because you don't cause so many problems for them. Like, for instance, addiction, it's a family illness. It's not just the alcoholic who suffers. Everyone suffers. Everyone who's affected by it. The mother, the children, the husband, everyone. So when you make yourself well and the best you can be, you inspire other people to also do that. And it's so fun when you can see that around you. When you can really see yourself working hard at something and other people notice, and then they also start doing wonderful things. That I find that such a gratifying, amazing energy, because it feels like you're creating something that has a life of its own. So have a great day. Be of service to yourself and others. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, just click on the button to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, I use astrology and numerology. For the astrology charts, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, order a chart rectification with me. That is a process where I work out your time of birth, because the chart changes every 4 minutes. Once I have all that info, I see a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it tells me everything about you, what your life purpose is, where you've been in past lifetimes, soulmates, career, moving, when the best time is to buy a house, or when communications are effective, or when to change jobs, or what should I be doing. Any of those questions I can answer by using these divination tools and my intuition. So if you have any questions, please do get in touch. If you like the videos, hit subscribe and share the video online, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.